our conversation. Yeah.
Hello to everyone's Inside Kurdistan listener. I am Dida Feredoun with my colleague.
I am Julia Zimmerman, and we are hosting this week's episode.
We were lucky to interview the director of Baghdad Messi and Zakho. Sahim Omar is a Kurdish-Belgian filmmaker. He is actually based in Belgium, and he got master degree in filmmaking at Santa Lux Film School.
With the short film called Nan, Sahim won the Best Flemish Student Film Prize. And he also got more than 100 international awards for his short films Land of the Heroes, Baghdad Messi and Bad Hunter.
And
here's our conversation with him.
Kak Sahim, thank you for your time. And we are happy to see you here and happy to be in Zakho, no?
Yeah.
The weather is much better. Shari Juan.
Yeah.
Much better in Erbil, no? Yeah. How are you?
Thank you very much.
How you feel you are since, I think, been 1 month in Kurdistan? What's up? What's your plan? Are you for work here or family visiting or what's exactly?
In the last 2 years or 3 years, I have been to Kurdistan and Baghdad so many times, but I had 2 projects. So my family and all the friends, they complaining about me because if you came to Zakho of the dog, you didn't visit us. They were angry, and my family also. So I said, okay, this time I will go to just for vacation, so nothing with the cinema, except this interview with you. so I had nothing to do with filmmaking.
We are part of the family trip too.
Yeah. No, because the life of the filmmakers always you have ups and downs. For example, sometimes you are abroad for several months. Sometimes you are home writing your next script. You have a lot of time with your family. For example, I have in Belgium a lot of friends, family. They told me, you are always outside and you don't have time for your family. I say, no, it's not true. Sometimes I am for 2 months outside, but sometimes I'm for 1 year and a half I'm home. So I'm working with my family. So I have a lot of time with them also. It's true, it's very tough, it's very hard. But for me, it's really the most important thing in life, if you do something, if you do a job, you like it. For example, for me, cinema and filmmaking is one of the most difficult jobs in the world because it's so stressful and a lot of responsibility and a lot of hard time. But for me, I like it very much. That's the way I keep working. And if you do a job, you should like it, love it. Otherwise, never do it.
We should ask your kids then. If you are with them or not.
You bring them to the set?
Sometimes, just to tell them, for example, I would like to tell them, because people who don't know anything about the cinema, they don't know our work that is so difficult, because you should find money for your movie, for financing on set is so difficult, and then for post-production, so much time. I would like to show to my kids and my wife our work, that they will get it, they understand me more. Because, for example, if the film is finished, they know, now he will go to a lot of festivals, so he'll be abroad a lot of time, a lot of months. Because if they don't do it, they don't respect me. For example, in Belgium, the kids at the school, a primary school, sometimes they bring director to tell them about the filmmaking, how the filmmaking is so difficult, because the kids from the beginning, they know, movie making is so difficult. For example, if you go to the cinema theater, you pay money for it, you go inside, don't speak, don't do anything, just watch the movie, which 400 people who come there, they not come for you, they come to watch with you the movie. Nobody speak. For example, here, if you go to the cinema, sometimes it's very terrible. People are talking, are calling, or laughing without reason.
Or stand up and go out, right?
Yeah, and then they call and then... For example, I was in Damascus 15 years ago. I had a lot of time because I went there for my visa, for my wife. And then I said, now I have a lot of time, I'll go to watch the movie. I was on the first floor. After 15 minutes, the people from the second floor, they threw cigarette to us. and the people were talking and speaking. I thought, wow, Syria, I thought is much more educated than us. But sometimes how the people, they don't respect the movie, because if they know the movie making is so difficult from the beginning till the end, because so many energy, time,
did you
money,
know before
they were respected more.
Did you know before that, before you work like a director or doing film, did you know this so difficult, or the people maybe they cannot understand you or your family?
No, in the beginning, even me, I didn't know that filmmaking, for example, is so difficult and costs you so much time and energy to find sponsor, producer for your movie. Even for me, I was a little bit busy with filmmaking in Kurdistan before I went to Belgium. It was just for my passion and love. I made it so short films, but not in a professional way. But I mean, in Belgium or in Europe, they let the people know it from the beginning. For example, like I said, I talk to a lot of people why in Zakho in 80s, in 70s we have cinema theater. Now we don't have anything in Zakho. Everybody told me, I have iPhone, I have iPad, I have laptop, so I watch movie on it. I said, no. In Europe, they have also iPad and laptop too, but they go to the cinema more than before.
Yeah, the atmosphere is different.
The atmosphere is really nice. You go with 400 people, and now you have lights, and you watch the movie 2 hours without any stress of phone. But I think that people don't get it, because in 40 years there's no cinema. They don't know that cinema is so enjoyable and is magic. But if they go one time there, for example in Belgium, some of my Kurdish friends, they don't go so much time to the cinema. I bring some of them one time to the cinema, I say, wow, so magic. So they go more to them. So, yeah.
You say there's more appreciation for movies in Europe in general?
Yeah, a lot more. Even if you go to the people, they respect you more and respect your job more. You as a person also more. Your movie also, because if your movie is going to be in cinema, 1 month before that, you have a lot of interviews, a lot of critics from the cinema critics, professional one, a lot of interviews. So if the critics are good, a lot of people going to watch the movie. For example, here in Kurdistan also, we don't have so many professional critics who are specialized in critics articles to write about the movie.
And do you think like cinema, it's not part of our Kurdish culture?
Yes, sure, because cinema in Belgium, for example, if you go to the cinema in Europe, generally, the first minister, the Belgian king, go to the cinema. Everybody go to the cinema, everybody. For example, if you go to speak with the Belgian king, he'll speak about Christopher Nolan, his movies. I really like it. He knew a lot about the movie. But here, the culture is almost zero to compare with Europe. So we understand, because Kurdistan is not an independent country. They have a lot of another priority to work on it, not cinema. Even in Europe, if you have problem, then cinema of art is the first victim. If you have economical problem, and that's the way in Kurdistan, because we have no country. So they didn't build the trust between the audience and the cinema. There's no cinema culture.
So, Kaxfame, you won more than 100 international awards for your short films, Land of the Heroes, Baghdad Messi. Baghdad Messi is now long film, and Bad Hunter. So do you think that the people get your message exactly through all these awards? Your film being published in a lot of the festivals, countries. So do you think they got your point exactly, or what's behind? What's your message behind that?
I think because if you get more than 100 awards and 500 festivals, it means that people appreciate your work and they get it. But in the cinema, the message is not so important, because the people should feel it, they should enjoy it. Because cinema is not like a radio of newspaper. the news, the message is important, because in the cinema it is not so important. So the message in the cinema, so it should be indirect way. The people, they will get it, because the cinema, you should think, maybe the people, they are very high educated, good to watch the movie. Belgian king maybe good to watch the movie. So not everybody is the same. So if you make people for not for smart people, the people do not like your movie. If you say in the movie, message is important, the people, oh no, I'm not coming for the message. So message in the movie is less important than in the newspaper, in the
so
television.
What is important for you to?
I think for me it's important.
Do you have like a class of the like level for the people somehow? Is it more for academics people or for more normal people? You might.
For me, it's really important that the people watch my movie. They've been touched and they go to home and they still thinking about the movie. They have seen it and they think about the character and what they faced, and that the story stay in their head after maybe 2 months. For example, my movie is so. I try also to tell a story that touch people, their heart and their mind, that after several months stay with them. For me, that's important. Not the message, but the story, how they feel it and how they experience it during the watching of the movie. That's for me most important one.
Do you want to speak about the story for?
Yeah, when I saw Land of the Heroes, I think your message is still very clear and direct. So I was like, it just took a few seconds, and then you feel, because you choose children as characters, and then you see the repercussions of what they have experienced of the war of Saddam Hussein, and then the child is comparing himself to Saddam Hussein, which is very strong. And then I don't know, and then you choose the Spider-Man costume for him. So yeah, for me it's still very, you have a very direct storytelling, and you really, there's not a lot of time to
if the people also know him, he's really direct person too.
Yeah.
I think.
But
right?
well, I have the feeling, so if I have seen other Kurdish movies, it's not quite the same. It's not very clear what they mean or what the message is, and I was like, it's very, and the feelings you want to create, they're very strong also. So I've seen, so I well, that's maybe my interpretation, maybe I'm wrong, but the repercussions on the children with the guns, and then with the costume, and then how they treat each other also when he's peeing on the other one, is very strong. I don't know how
so
you
feel. So you get to the details actually.
How you, well, because I just seen it, but if you compare yourself to other directors, or what in your opinion, why are you different to
another one?
Yeah, because for me, my character and my script is most important one, so I focus a lot on that. But I would like always to change the way of storytelling, that not become so very classical. For example, when we decided to put the costume of Spider-Man on it, and the way of cinematography and the way of storytelling, a lot of people, they thought, oh, is it going to work or not? But I think the most important thing that you dare to tell a story, but with a lot of other things that people, they didn't dare to say, to use it or to put it on the movie. Because like I told you, all the Kurdish movie, they're very close to each other, and for example about Anfal campaign, about Halabja, about all the stories are the same. So I think it's most important thing, if you tell a story, try to do it by another way, so another point of view. For example, for me it's really important about the kids, how the kids, that Iran and Iraq war, they have influenced all the peoples.
Land of the Heroes.
Land of the Heroes. That's about the kids they didn't get the chance to watch cartoons, for example. That's minimal things that you can get it, for example.
Yeah.
For example.
Or the women also with the guns.
Yeah, for example,
there's no men.
People told me, wow, you make a movie about the war between Iraq and Iran. I said, no, it's not about that.
Yeah.
My point is only the war, how they affected the people, the kids. They just want to watch cartoons and they didn't watch it because of the war between Iraq and Iran.
So he puts the costume on himself.
Yeah. For example, some people, they told me, this is not true because Spider-Man movie was made in 2001. I said, no, we have made research and Spider-Man costume
it's a comic.
Was in 60s.
It's a comic book.
Even if it doesn't exist, it works. For example, in Europe, nobody say anything about that. They really like it because it's symbolic, the power and the superheroes to link with Saddam and the power, how the kids speak or think about Saddam and how they think he's good because he's very he's powerful, but they don't like him because he don't show them the cartoons. It's also double. Yeah, for me it's also, like you said, also some people they got the story very well, but some people they got story in another way. For example, when the kids on the end, the film finished, the kids wait so long. I didn't watch the cartoons. Some people they told me, are they dead? Of what happened with them? So for me, it's not it's not important to make everything 100% clear for them. Just to make it a little bit open for the people, some audiences that they have another way of thinking, or they get it in another way, not the same way. That not everybody will understand the movie by the same way. For example, some of my movies, Land of the Heroes, we have got a lot of awards selection in Canada, but nothing in the States, almost less. And Baghdad Messi was totally the opposite. In Canada, nothing, and in the States, we have got a lot of awards. Also shortlisted for the Oscar, one of the 10 finalists. So sometimes of the movies, it works in some countries very well, sometimes in another country, not so good. So it depends how the people understand and got it. For example, I was in China, Baghdad Messi, the long version. It was really well received. And in some countries, they are not interested in the movie. You cannot make a movie that everybody like it, or in all the continent in the world, they will enjoy it or understand in the same way. But for me, it's really important that if I make a movie, to make a movie universal, that the story is universal, that people from Canada, New Zealand, in Australia, also they get the story. Okay, I make movies about the Kurdish society, Kurdish story, but I always try to make it, to make it so small that the people get it better. Yeah. For example, Baghdad Messi, most of the people like it because it's just a story about one boy with one leg who tried to play football, and his dream and his idol is Messi, and who never give up. He will play
and
because
he made Messi, no?
Yeah.
He made Messi finally.
And for me, it's also important that if I make a movie, that the people in my movie, the actors, also get profit from it. For example, the boy from our short film and also the feature film, they have got Messi and become so famous, and we have collected for them some money to put for him prosthesis, and also to bring him to Europe, to another country. They never left Baghdad of their village. And
you work with amateurs?
Sometimes, for example, especially with you work with the kids, because in Kurdistan we have not so many professional kids who work in the cinema industry. But for example, Zagros, I know it. It was a lot of difficult scene, a lot of story, and the actors were so important. In my first feature film, Zagros, we have selected all of them professional actors. Not all of them, but most of them, because for me it's also important that the professional actor can add a lot of extra things to your stories. For example, if you have a good actor, you work with him, and you know, yeah, he's very good, and your story, it will be more in depth and in detail, and they will add something. But if you have not professional actor, they will just listen to you what you tell them, and they don't add so many things in the story. So I spent a lot of time with the casting to find a good actors. That on set, we don't spend so much time with them without any results.
And how was the meeting with Messi, the original one?
Yeah, that's not so good. When we went there to Paris, we knew Messi will leave Paris Saint-Germain because he was so bad.
Yeah, he didn't like it so much, no?
Yeah, I said how it can. Just 2 months ago, he has got the World Cup, and now he's playing so bad, very, very bad.
Mm-hmm.
And also the meeting with Messi, it was with our actor, it was a little bit not so good because Messi didn't feel him well with the Paris Saint-Germain. So it was the days he was planning to move from Paris. But I was happy with Hamoudi because he was very happy with it.
It will be a good memory for him.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Messi maybe he doesn't care, but
No,
Hamoudi, yeah.
No, when I decided to make Baghdad Messi, there was nothing to do with Messi or Barcelona. So we have had the story, even the name Baghdad Messi. We have changed three times. For example, in the beginning, it was FC Baghdad, and then we changed 3 times. At last moment, we changed to Baghdad Messi, and even because it was 2009, the final match between Manchester and Barcelona, and we should find one of the players in 2009. And we thought Messi is most important one because everybody, even people who don't know anything about football, they know Messi because it's important for us. By the title Baghdad Messi, you know a little bit about football in Baghdad, the location. So we don't want to make any promotion for Barcelona of Messi.
But I'm a big fan of you. I'm a big fan of Messi. So, Sahim, this question is always in my mind, like why a lot of the Kurdish director, they don't have like this imagination for the future of Kurdistan or Iraq or this area. So why we actually
in the past a lot, huh? Yeah, true.
I mean, you watch a lot of the film actually, maybe more than me here, Yulia, and you know they always speaking about the past, not even the what's happened right now. And like it is this imagination actually the journalists cannot do that, but more director they have this fantasy more, or they know better how they promote that or doing that. So
you could do more projection or something. Yeah.
Actually, in your film, somehow it is with some new stuff like Baghdad Messi. It was one of that, like with one leak, you know. I mean, without leak, they can like play football. It's a good like stuff. It's good imagination. It's a good hope, you know.
Yeah, I'm always. Telling to my friends we should make several kind of movie with different style and genres because there's a problem with the Kurdish movies.
Comedy.
Yeah.
Comedy.
For example, my next.
Please start comedy.
My next movie, Mesopotamia Cafe, it will be drama comedy of more focus and humor.
Exclusive for us.
No, because
this news exclusive for us.
No, because I have a lot of Belgian of European friends. They told me I don't like Kurdish films because it's almost the same. Drama and also about the past and about the things happened to the history.
Yeah.
I think we need more movies about our life now. For example, if you come to Kurdistan to visit any city, you have thousands of stories taking place now. It's not always about the past because, okay, I think also for the cinema, it's really important that you have different kind of the movies. For example, in Belgium, I work with the film funds, and there, if we give money to some projects, for example, let us say if you have 10 projects to give money, 2 of them, they should be about the youth, the topic. 2 of the movies, for example, from the young and new directors, 2 of them commercial, 2 of them, for example, art house movies. In Belgium also, in Kurdistan, I mean, we need also several kinds of genres of the movie to be made in the future. For example, horror film, science fiction, comedy, and that make cinema more interesting for the people. because if you have always the same cinema of the same movie, it's not good for the audience. If the audience, for example, go for the commercial movie, I will never make a commercial movie, but it's good for us also that the people, they know, there is cinema, we go to there, you have new stars, we have new actors, new stuff. It's good for the movie.
Actually, in our lifestyle, in reality, we are not so dramatic. You feel that in the movie, you see it's so, and now you've been
Not
since
really,
2 years is here. How?
I think it's a part of. I think art is always a part of. How do you say in English that you? Because nobody talks about. There's not. It's not a society of talking about the past. So what happened and how you suffered. So you have to kind of transfer it or work through it through movies. So I think after Second World War in Europe, they did the same. So there was a lot of movies going on about the past and about wars. And I think Germany, for example, still does it. They have not a lot of, the most of the, many movies they did was about Hitler and all.
Yeah.
But I think, and your past is not it's very recent. Also, it's not been a long time. I think you just need some time to get through this, and then you can, maybe now is the time to start a new genre and start with comedy or something.
Yeah, because for example, about the Holocaust, maybe 5,000 movies they've been made about the topic.
Yeah.
And still they're making it. But
Yeah.
sometimes they are more creative. For example, they go so in detail and so small that you forget it's about Holocaust. No, it's about something more deep than that.
Yeah.
For example, I saw several years ago Son of Saul.
But it
Was
took time
very good.
also.
Yeah.
Now it's been 70 years. It took
Yeah.
time also. So I saw one in German. It's like the greatest or the funniest, the greatest dictator or something.
Yeah.
Have you seen this?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and so it's very funny. So I don't know, it's the first movie I saw about Hitler, and he's very funny.
Yeah.
It's about, I think the director's Jewish also.
Yeah.
And no, it's the greatest dictator or something.
I'm sure.
I don't know.
I've watched the movie, but I'm not sure. I think.
So he takes acting classes, Hitler, and he takes a Jewish guy out of the camp to teach him acting.
Yeah.
Because he gets sick also, and he needs training.
Yeah, that is what I mean with the imagination and stuff.
Yeah, but it took time,
Yeah.
It's a new movie,
Yeah.
not new, but like 10 years maybe.
There's a way of creation and creative, and to make it more fresh. For example, it's a movie about the history, but it's more. For example, sometimes it's horror, sometimes it's comedy, and that's the way you make people. I think, okay, I will go to see it because it's not just about the Holocaust, of the history. No, the way of storytelling is totally different. I think that's we need also in Kurdistan, but like I told Dida, in Kurdistan we have no professional film commission. For example, if you send your script to them, it should be a professional jury of commission that they know, this story we like it. Because if you have no commission to select the projects, how can you make a movie? So it should be the first step that the people are so professional, they know which story is better than the other one. It should be balanced. Okay, we will, for example, make several movies a year, and one movie should be comedy, one movie should be drama, one movie should be, for example, animation. There is no basic of no infrastructure for that.
If you compare your generation with our generation, I mean, you are not old, but I mean, the new generation, Reiko's generation, he's younger than us. Do you feel there is any different, any kind of like more interesting or less interesting about movie and respect to the actors or the filmmaker? How's it look like in your perspective or your view?
Yeah, because the generation now, they are very lucky, to be honest with you. Because, for example, 30 years ago, to make movie was so difficult. 40 years ago was more difficult. So in the history, movie making was very difficult because you should film with the pellicola with the super 60 millimeter or 35 millimeter. It was very expensive. But now you have everything. For example, with this iPhone, you can make a movie and to go to a big festivals. And 30, 40 years ago was a huge dream for a lot of people to make a movie, but now everybody can make a story, and with the new technology, you can make everything, even the post-production, and send to the festivals very easily. And for them, they are very lucky, to be honest. And okay, the competition is now, for example, Berlin, Cannes, Venice, they have got maybe before 30 years ago, 400 submissions, 400 films, but now they get 5,000 movies, a lot of more than that. But the good thing is, movie making now become very, very easy. So everybody can make movie. And for example, I asked Abbas Kiarostami, is a very famous Iranian director. He said, if you can't make a movie now, you're a liar, because now you can do everything by yourself and never wait for 2 million euros to make movie. Yeah, because, for example, that's the way I have decided to make the movie, my short film, Bat Hunter. Before I have made several movies, a lot of friends from Kurdistan, they told me, because in Europe you have a lot of money, a very professional crew, that's the way you make good movies. So I would like, back in time, to show them no. So we have decided to make a movie, Bat Hunter. The whole crew, they were from Zakho, staff, the technical, the camera, everything, light, everybody, all the actors, all the stuff. And we have made Bat Hunter with no budget, so just with my own money. And the short film, yeah, it won a lot of awards. It was also shortlisted for the Oscar. So one of the 10 finalists. I would like just to tell him no. In Kurdistan, with the small camera, Nikon of Canon, with your local, only from Zakho, so you made the movie and it became so good movie. Because a lot of people, they say, I have good story, but I need 10 million euros. Okay, no. 10 million euros, you never get it. And after 5 years, if you don't make any movie, then your dream is done. And
also, it's not the camera who makes the photographer.
Yeah.
She's photographer, that's why.
No, I mean, like, I don't know, so many, when people ask you what kind of camera you're using, so who cares? I don't know, just take your phone and it's not about the... I learned from a photographer in France, I was asking him for settings or something, and he just said, it's about the framing. It's about the frame. Just take the shot, don't care about the settings. You can, there's post-production, you can do anything there. So just, it's about the framing and not...
Yeah. For example, if you give this iPhone to a very famous director now, if he make a movie, so I'm sure he will make a very good movie with it, because the way he think about his character and the script and the storytelling, it will be different to compare with another people. Sometimes I think we should be jealous of the new generation, because now my producer, my teacher, he told me Mark Didden, he was very famous in Belgium. 40 years ago, to write a script was so difficult because you have a type machine. It costs so much money, and if you make correct it, and it's not so easy with the paper. But now you have a laptop, you can do everything with it.
You have AI too.
Yeah.
So I mean, our discussion is so interesting, and I would like to speak with you about a lot of stuff, more than that. But I mean, do you have anything any like important, urgent thing?
So how about so you said next plan is also about here, comedy drama?
Yeah, it's about a man who go to Belgium, and then he met somebody, and he became his best friends, and with his relationship with his new friends in Belgium, so he discovered himself, because in Kurdistan there was no love between him and his father. They never gave him love, and he find somebody in Belgium. He gave him a lot of things, so he discovers himself. It's the name of the movie is Mesopotamia Cafe. So it's a comedy drama movie.
So you start here and then you go to Belgium?
Yeah, I think at the beginning of almost 5 minutes to be in Kurdistan, and then the rest will be in Belgium, in Brussels.
Okay.
Because in my movie, you always see humor in my movie. For example, Bad Times, there is very humor. Land of the Heroes also. And also, I know you don't know, but other people, they told me you are very humor.
Yeah. It was funny.
So we will try this one. Hopefully it will be a good movie. So we have done the casting in Germany, because it was very funny. We have selected from 100 people's 8 actors for our movie, and 6 of them, they came from Germany. So Kurdish people who lives in Germany. And then we have done the audition in Berlin. And if I go to Belgium, so next month we will do the second round of casting. So our plan is to shoot next year or maybe 2025, hopefully.
But let's enjoy Baghdad Messi right now.
Yeah.
Kaxim, I mean, thank you so much for your time. We enjoyed our discussion. I hope the audience also, and maybe they know you through this podcast more, because only the directors behind the screen, and no one knows about them more. Thank you again. We wish you all the best. I'm actually, by my side, I'm a big fan of your film and your work, and thank you for your time. Again,
Galax Bus.
Oh.
I learned Galax Bus, right? From
Thank you very much. Really appreciate that you came from Army especially to here.
Of course.
4 hours driving. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You can listen to the full episode on Spotify, iTunes, and our website kurdistanin.net.